Welcome to today's Explainer. I am super excited you're here because, honestly, we're about to completely rewire how you think about energy storage. If you've ever looked at a solar battery and based your purchase purely on the price tag, you might be in for a rude awakening. Today, we're shifting away from those simple marketing claims and entertainment-focused solar advice and stepping into the realm of real power systems engineering to uncover the true cost of solar batteries. Here's the roadmap for our engineering journey today. We'll tackle the battery price illusion, calculate true usable energy, dive into the LCOE paradigm shift, expose some hidden economic killers, and finally, look at dangerous system safety gaps. Let's get right into it. You've probably seen advice online telling you to just take the cost of the battery, divide it by the warranty years, and call it a day. Or worse, they encourage you to, quote, just use the battery until it dies. Yikes, that is terrible advice. It perfectly captures the issue with simplistic, entertainment-focused content. It totally ignores the electrical realities that actually determine your cost of ownership. Plus, as we'll see, it can actually be incredibly dangerous. All right, Section 1, the battery price illusion. Why that initial purchase price is a total trap. Here's the thing. A cheap battery can actually end up being the absolute most expensive component in your entire system. When you ignore things like usable depth of discharge, cycle life limits, or round-trip efficiency, you're setting yourself up with wildly unrealistic expectations. If your budget battery has lousy cycle life, or if it really suffers under heavy loads, you'll be replacing it way before premium alternative would have even broken a sweat. That so-called cheap battery, it's just going to bleed your wallet dry over time. Moving to Section 2, calculating true usable energy. We're tossing out the amateur math and moving from nameplate capacity to real-world numbers. To get there, we follow a really logical three-step progression. Step 1, we find the total energy in watt-hours by multiplying volts by amp-hours. But we definitely can't stop there. Step 2 requires us to find the usable energy by applying the safe depth of discharge limit. And then, Step 3, this is where the real magic happens. We calculate the lifetime energy by factoring in the number of cycles and the system's efficiency. As you'll see, every single one of these new variables chips away at the total energy your battery actually delivers. Let's put some numbers to this. Imagine you've got a standard 48-volt, 100 amp-hour lithium iron phosphate battery. If we multiply 48 by 100, we get 4,800 watt-hours, or 4.8 kilowatt-hours. Now, a lot of folks just compare batteries using amp-hours alone, but a 48-volt, 100 amp-hour battery stores way more power than a 12-volt, 100 amp-hour battery. Getting that total stored energy in watt-hours, that is your absolutely crucial first step. But, hey, here's the catch. You can't safely use 100% of most batteries. Lead-acid batteries, for example, get heavily stressed if you drain them too far. And even with lithium, you almost always hold back a reserve. So, if we apply, say, an 80% depth of discharge, our 4.8 kilowatt-hour battery is actually only giving us 3.84 kilowatt-hours of true usable energy per cycle. All right, now let's apply Step 3. Say this battery is rated for 4,000 cycles, and we account for a 95% round-trip efficiency loss, just basic charging and inverter inefficiencies. If we take 3.84 usable kilowatt-hours, multiply it by 4,000 cycles, and then by that 0.95 efficiency factor, we get a whopping 14,592 lifetime delivered kilowatt-hours. That massive number is what your battery will actually give back to you over its entire lifespan. Which brings us to Section 3, the LCOE paradigm shift. This is the ultimate anchor for battery value. I really want you to remember this acronym, LCOE, or Levelized Cost of Energy. This is the professional engineering standard. Instead of asking, what does this battery cost me today, LCOE asks, what does each unit of energy cost me over the life of this entire system? You calculate it by simply taking the total lifetime cost of the battery and dividing it by that total lifetime delivered energy we just figured out. Let's see how this plays out with our earlier example. If that 48-volt lithium battery cost us $2,500 up front, we simply divide 2,500 by our 14,592 lifetime kilowatt-hours. The result? Our levelized cost of energy is $0.171, or about 17.1 cents per kilowatt-hour. This is a highly accurate real-world metric that lets you perfectly compare any two batteries, no matter their size, chemistry, or sticker price. When we apply LCOE, the whole lead-acid versus lithium debate becomes crystal clear. Lead-acid batteries might look way cheaper on day one, sure, but their shallow depth of discharge requirements severely limit your usable energy. Combine that with a much lower cycle life, and you're buying replacements all the time. Lithium iron phosphate, on the other hand, tolerates deep cycling and has a massive cycle life. Even with a higher upfront cost, its LCOE is usually drastically lower. But listen, perfect math on paper means absolutely nothing if you ignore the laws of physics in the real world. That leads us right into Section 4, hidden economic killers. These are the external variables that will absolutely destroy your LCOE. First up is heat. Now, most people just think of heat as a safety concern, but you really need to treat it as an active financial killer. Every major bump in operating temperature accelerates degradation. Heat increases internal resistance, it breaks down the electrolyte, and it drastically slashes your cycle life. If your battery is sitting in some poorly ventilated, sweltering shed, it's aging way faster. You'll be forced to replace it early, which entirely ruins your calculated cost per kilowatt hour. Another silent financial killer is high current stress. Think back to basic engineering. Power divided by voltage equals current. If you're trying to run a 3,000-watt inverter on a 12-volt battery, you are yanking a massive 250 amps of current out of it. That high current causes excessive thermal stress, cable heating, and voltage sag. You're literally wearing the battery out faster. But a 48-volt battery running that exact same 3,000-watt load pulls dramatically less current. Less current means far less stress and a much, much longer lifespan. We also have to talk about capacity fade. Look, batteries aren't magical boxes that stay at 100% health until they just suddenly die one day. They slowly degrade. If a battery starts at 100% capacity and finishes its useful life at 80%, your average lifetime capacity was actually only 90%. If you ignore capacity fade, you are definitely overestimating your lifetime delivered energy. And all of this leads to an incredibly urgent point. Because when you try to save a quick buck by ignoring these electrical realities, it doesn't just cost you money, it creates severe physical safety hazards. Which brings us to our final section, dangerous system safety gaps. This is what happens when bad economics lead directly to physical hazards. For instance, a super common DIY mistake is trying to pinch pennies by mixing old, degraded batteries with brand new ones. This sets off a total cascade of problems. The older batteries naturally have higher internal resistance, which leads to really uneven charging behavior. So the new batteries are forced to work way harder to compensate, the whole system gets wildly imbalanced, and you risk overheating and premature failure across your entire battery bank. Then you have the physical connections themselves. Loose battery terminals or missing DC fuse protection, that's incredibly dangerous. A loose terminal creates immediate resistive heating and voltage drop. I mean, that heat can literally melt the metal lugs right off your cables. And without proper fuse protection, you are staring down the barrel of catastrophic short circuits, arc flashes, and literal electrical fires. And remember that terrible internet advice we talked about at the start? Just use it until it dies? Well, this right here is exactly why that is so dangerous. Damaged lithium batteries that are deeply degraded and abused can enter what's called thermal runaway. They turn into what the industry jokingly calls spicy pillows. They swell up, vent toxic gases, and can ignite under faulty conditions. The absolutely critical takeaway here is to immediately isolate a damaged pack. Do not try to squeeze a few extra cents of energy out of a failing battery. So let's bring this all together. Battery economics are electrical engineering problems, not marketing problems. For you, the focused learner, the goal isn't just buying a fancy box that holds power. The goal is securing the lowest cost, most reliable energy delivery over the entire lifetime of your system. And you pull that off through proper design, smart voltage planning, temperature control, and a solid awareness of system safety. I want to leave you with a quick question to help evaluate your own off-grid or backup setup. Have you ever actually calculated your real cost per delivered kilowatt hour over your battery's lifetime? Grab a calculator, run the math using those levelized cost of energy steps we covered today. Honestly, you might be totally shocked by what you find. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. Stay safe out there and keep learning.